first step in our mashup today, we're going to make some buffalo chicken. We got 6 boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Now my first idea was I was going to get some really good chicken wings and I was going to pull those, and then I realized, ew, that crispy skin is going to turn to mush hidden inside our lasagna. So we're going to go with some nice tender chicken thighs. We're going to toss them up with some salt and some of this delicious bottled hot sauce. Just wet it down nicely, and then you really just want to get the chicken wet. Then we're going to lay it out on our baker's sheet with it would be good to have a drip shield in here, because that will keep everything dry, and we're going to build up a nice crust as it bakes. I'm going to do this at 450 in the oven. I've got my chicken put together. I'm just going to build up a little more liquid on top to get us a nice peppery crust. Now we're starting in the second step of our mashup. And like any good musical mashup, we got to match the beats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a red sauce. But I'm going to make a Fra Diavolo red sauce. We're going to put that cayenne heat in there. It's going to match the heat of the hot sauce. Also, instead of pure olive oil, I'm going to use butter, so you get that buffalo sauce effect. It's not going to be exactly buffalo sauce by the time we're done, but it's going to be heat and buttery. So we're going to pull those disparate elements of buffalo chicken and lasagna together. Now I'm going to add a little drop of olive oil, because it's going to increase the cooking temperature on the butter. And we don't want to come up with brown butter, which is delicious by itself. Okay, I got my butter and olive oil up to temperature. I'm going to add in the onions. Shake the pan a little bit, get it coated with the oils. Then we can add in our spices. These all stand up to some heat. I got about a teaspoon of salt, about a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. I'm going to go for a full half teaspoon right now. And I'm going to start off with about a full tablespoon of hot pepper flakes. Those are going to sweat for a few minutes, and then we'll add in the garlic. Alright, our onions have turned translucent. We can add in the garlic and start it sweating. Okay, so I am using some of my home canned tomatoes today, and I know they're going to be really juicy. So I'm going to use maybe a tablespoon and a half to 2 tablespoons of tomato paste in the sauce. And in go the pureed tomatoes. Now I just bash these up with my hand. We don't have to be too accurate. Alright, so we got our tomatoes in. It's going to start to bubble. We're going to heat it through and drop the heat a little bit and let it simmer until we're ready to build the lasagna. So the third element in our mashup today is going to be the cheese layer. We're going to use ricotta, but then to make it creamier and to make it a little bit like the blue cheese dressing you would have with your chicken wings, I'm going to put in some cream cheese, about 6 ounces, and later on in this process we're going to add in some chunks of blue cheese so that you get a nice creamy base of ricotta and cream cheese with bursts of blue cheese in there. First off, we're going to whisk up and put some volume in that 6-ounce cream cheese. And I'm going to add 2 jumbo eggs. If you're cooking along at home and you have standard eggs, you might want to do 3. So we'll start there. Alright, so we got our eggs and our cream cheese incorporated. The eggs are nice and fluffy. added in about a half teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to add in this 16-ounce container of ricotta. In it goes. And let's start it up again. So we've got our eggs, cream cheese, salt, and ricotta all incorporated in there. You got a nice pale yellow color from those egg yolks. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper in there. I added in a teaspoon of garlic powder and a little bit more salt to increase the flavor. And now I'm going to add 3/4 of a pound of blue cheese crumbles. I'm going to use the paddle to incorporate that where the whisk might break down the cheese. This is going to leave pieces in the mix. Our sauce has been simmering for a half hour. It's got a good thickness. All the flavors have balanced out. The garlic and the onions have cooked into the sauce. And the nice thing about adding the tomato paste in is you're going to get a thick sauce much more quickly than if you had to just leave it to simmer down for hours. So it's a great shortcut method of cooking. Buffalo chicken, we've got this out of the oven. It's still pretty hot. We're going to put it into the KitchenAid. It's a nice shortcut method for breaking it up and getting a nice pulled chicken quickly. Also, this came out really well, even better than I expected it to. We got a nice brown crust of the buffalo sauce, and it's has penetrated into the surface of the meat. I think it'll be really enjoyable. So in goes the chicken. I'm going to get it started with the KitchenAid. Alright, we got it dancing in the pot. It's breaking up really nicely. And I'm going to add in some more hot sauce to keep it nice and moist and spicy in the bowl. Wow, that was a great idea, Nicole. I've never actually used this process to shred the chicken in the bowl like this. I could do that with a whole butt and a pulled pork. Everything's pulled together nicely. It's all nice tender strings. And it didn't annihilate it like it would if you tried to put it through a buffalo chopper in a big kitchen or use your food processor. You'd end up with powdered chicken. Now, we're going to start building the lasagna. I'm going to lay out the sauce, nice even layer. And we decided to go with no boil noodles. And I'm just going to layer them up in the pan with about a 1/2 inch overlay. Delicious cheese filling. I guess this is probably a bridge between the two songs in the mashup. That zesty blue cheese and ricotta is really playing nicely together. It's going to be a really nice creamy filling. And we layer in more pasta. As our pulled chicken set, I noticed it absorbed all the hot sauce we had added earlier. So I'm going to add probably another 1/4 cup of sauce, because otherwise we're not going to have enough to rehydrate these noodles. Alright, that's really nice now. And we'll just pour this over the noodles. I think this is where the DJ drops the bass. This is the last layer. It's where we're going to have the big finish. Layering up the pasta. I'm not a pain junkie. The sauce has cooled down to just above room temperature at this point. Final step, I'm going to layer in part skim mozzarella. This is the dry type mozzarella. Just getting those corners filled up. Now, with this lasagna, I recommend you bake it on a sheet pan because there's a good chance that it's going to boil over in the process of cooking. And, you know, you don't want a lot of cheese in there on the bottom of your oven. I think we should do this for at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes and then take a look at it. Thanks for joining us on Stephen's Cranky Kitchen. Today we combined lasagna and with the flavors of buffalo chicken. And now it's time to dig in.
All right.